Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Katelyn, and today we are continuing our Artists as Adventurers series. So you guys sent a lot of really fun comments of a lot of different amazing creators that we can make in this series, and the one that I wanted to jump into today, I thought would just be such a fun creator to convert into an adventurer. So today we are going to be drawing RossDraws. I really love his channel. I absolutely adore his videos and his like Nima verse and all the characters that are with that. And I just thought that we could easily combine like his work with him as a person to make a really cool adventurer. So specifically, I've had a lot of inspiration like looking through his Instagram and seeing different art pieces that he's made. And the one that really stood out to me was this self-portrait. I think this looks really, really cool, and I love like the kimono-like coat, and I feel we could take that and convert it into his adventurer gear. So I'm gonna steal a little bit of direct influence from him, especially with this outfit, just because I just think this is so cool, and it has so many really awesome colors that we could use for our adventurer design. So with the outfit inspiration done, I'm gonna show you guys a little bit more of his work, and at least when I see like him, or maybe how he conveys himself and his characters, I just picture like really cool big swords and like just really cool like warrior fighter like characters. Another piece that I got a lot of inspiration for his character in general was this piece. I thought this was really cool with him like with a cool sword and kind of like electric magical energy around him. So I'm kind of combining this and his general work with this coat look. And with all that in mind, I thought Ross would fit as a paladin really well. I think that's an awesome class that we could use for him. And I just think it just works. It's like a really cool character that has like an awesome sword and can also do a lot of cool magic and other things. So at least for me, Ross screams paladin to me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump in and we're gonna start doing some sketches and figure out how we want to convert that outfit inspiration and his look in general into a really cool paladin character. So let's jump in and get those sketches started. So for this sketch phase, I really wanted to figure out the armor and everything to go with our paladin for RossDraws and just kind of the pose in general. I wanted to be able to show off like the larger cool sword that I'm thinking about making, as well as some type of magic that he's using with one of his hands. I just wanted to make sure to like show that off and have like a cool pose to show that and like the full outfit and armor. And so with that, I was like trying to piece together like different parts of the outfit that was from the original reference image that I showed you guys. And then I wanted to fit in like Milo and a few other like fun little details among the armor and the clothes. And I think the pose was a really fun one. It just like, it kind of is like a ready to go into battle. Like, yeah, I got my cool sword on my back. Here I am like flashing some cool like magic with my hand. And I just thought it was a really fun and like dynamic pose. And then I really loved drawing Milo. I talk about it here in a little bit, but I thought it would be really fitting to make him like a cool beast companion. I know paladins typically don't have beast companions, at least from like looking in the player handbook. They're not really a default thing that you get with the paladin class. But I just felt like paladin just worked so well for Ross, and he always has Milo, and I'm like, that has to be a part of this because I feel that is his beast companion. It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. And then of course I want like Milo to have some cool magical power, so we'll be adding that in too. But I thought the combination of the two of them looked really great. And then I just had fun designing the armor and the costume overall for Ross, and this was just a blast to get sketched out. Okay, so I got the sketch done for our Ross drawing, and I really like how it's coming out. I was trying to combine some inspiration from both like the outfit I previously showed you and the idea of him being like a paladin, so we needed some really cool pauldrons and some armor. And I also wanted to throw in Milo because in almost all of his self-portraits and other times that he's with some type of animal companion, it's always with Milo. So I was like, I gotta throw him in there. And in the previous piece that I showed you with the jacket, he had Milo as kind of a multi-tailed fox. And I'm like, I think that's perfect. Let's just like stick with Milo being like a kitsune Shiba combo. And so I wanted to show that he could also do magic. He has his cool sword. The hilt of the sword, I got inspiration from some of the patterning from Nima and having this look kind of like a lotus blossom type of pattern. And yeah, I'm really digging how this is turning out. I love the outfit and everything so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. We'll get some line art and color going. And that's the thing I'm a little hesitant on. I'm curious how the color is gonna go, because we have the color of the jacket, but then from there, I don't really know what other colors we're gonna use. So let's jump in and get that line art and color started and finish our Ross as Adventurer piece. All right, let's get into the final piece for our Ross draw as Adventurer, and I was really excited to get into this one. I actually had a lot of fun making this one. I mean, most of the art I make on my channel I have a blast with, but this one in particular, I don't know, I just hit like a groove and I really enjoyed making it. It just took a little bit longer than I anticipated, but it was totally fun to make. So at least for his design overall, I really do like how his outfit looks, especially after we get the line art and color going. But looking back, I kind of wish I sprinkled in maybe a little bit more Japanese armor and weapon influence just based off of the coat, since it was like a kimono coat. I'm like, oh, I should have added a little bit more like a Japanese twist to a few things, like maybe instead of like a broadsword like I have there, maybe something closer to like a katana or something like that would have been cool. Or maybe like a play on a mix of like a katana and a broadsword or something like that. I kind of wish I was a little bit more creative with the sword, because I was really happy with like the hilt and different aspects of his look overall. And I think I just got caught up in that and just executing this, that I didn't really look really carefully at some of my detailing work. I still like it, and I still think the character design overall turned out really fun and cool, and I like it, but I kind of wish I did a couple things a little different. But either way, it was still really fun to make. And I feel like I'm finally kind of hitting a stride with drawing people again. For a while there, I was really out of practice. I felt like, I don't know, it's always been a struggle, because I feel like I can execute monsters and creatures pretty regularly and with about the same results every time. But this time around with like people and things, it's been a little bit harder, because maybe I probably don't draw them as much because I'm doing more creatures and monsters. But then it's just, I don't know. I just feel people have always been a little bit of a weak point for me. But this one, like, I felt like really in tune with it and like could just execute and just draw it, and I was really happy with that. And then with my Clip Studio paint class that I've been taking recently, I've been forcing myself to do like my characters from my comic at each project possible, just because I'm like, I really want to create more for Fox Among Hounds. And then on top of it, it got me back into the rhythm of drawing people again. And I was like, oh, this is really cool, because like this one turned out really great. And I was really happy with like the anatomy and the pose, and I was just really happy about it. But yeah, so let's talk more about, I guess, like RossDraws and maybe like the powers that he would have, because he's got a lot of really fun content on YouTube and some things that we could draw from. So one of his most famous things, I guess, with his channel is color dodge. And so I thought it'd be really cool. We would literally call it that move. And I could see it kind of being like a Misty Step almost, where Ross could basically dodge and maybe leave a color replica behind of him in a way that's like maybe not like inverse colors, but more like brighter, intense colors. Maybe it causes blinding as well. That'd be really cool. Just imagine it like a lightning step, Misty Step combo, but it's with like really bright, intense colors. And I don't know, I could see a really cool pink and cyan after image following him when he does this move. I think that'd be really, really cool. So for sure we got color dodge. And then I'm trying to think of other ones that he could do, because in his videos as well, after he finishes drawing a piece, sometimes like he battles them and he pulls out like all these really cool random props, like his Zelda sword, and I think he has a couple of like Nerf guns or a couple things, and I always found those really fun. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he has another way that he can summon or manipulate other weapons. That'd be kind of cool. Kind of like, I think of Archer from Fate/stay night. If any of you know the anime, basically it's a character that can create weapons basically out of nowhere. I think it's called tracing is what he calls it, where he can just kind of summon and create weapons for him to use. And I'm like, ooh, that would be really cool. Like if Ross had a similar thing where he could summon different weapons and attack items, I guess. And then magic wise, I think, okay, with a paladin, I am not as familiar with a paladin. I played one for like a one shot and that's it. I don't know anything past that, and I feel even with that, it's very limited knowledge on paladin powers and abilities. If I remember correctly, I've got to give a very overarching rundown of what I remember paladins to be. They're kind of tanky. They can take a lot of damage and hits. They also have some healing abilities, but then they have like divine smites and like those type of abilities. So I wonder if we could kind of loop in the idea of like with Milo being like the kitsune, maybe that is kind of his deity in a way, maybe, or somehow it ties in with Milo with the deity thing. I don't know. We'd have to think about that a bit, but I think it'd be really cool if we were able to incorporate like maybe kitsune imagery or references for his like smiting abilities or his powers. I think that'd be really cool because at least, like I said, from what I understand, paladins draw power from their gods in D&D, and so we'd have to figure out what quote-unquote god Ross draws his power from. And part of me is like, well, it could be like some type of like artist god to go with his like color dodge idea, but I don't know. I like the idea of maybe like a kitsune based god, and maybe Milo is one of the, not like companions, one of the underlings for that kitsune god, maybe something like that. I think that'd be kind of fun. And then it would be kind of fun if Milo had a similar type of like color dodge attack. I think that'd be really cool, but maybe it's like, it makes me think of like Volt Tackle that Pikachu can do in Pokemon, where basically a tackle with like lightning behind it. But imagine maybe Milo is more like a colored after image that just goes really fast and like can like headbutt tackle its enemies with some magic too. And then maybe we could also add like some of like, I don't know, I'm thinking like cinematic anime moment with like maybe some cool like lotus petals that follow Milo behind him in his trail when he does these attacks. I don't know. There's so many fun and cool ideas, but if you guys have a little more experience with the paladin class, I would love to hear your comments down below. Like if you're like, hey Katelyn, I got the coolest idea for like a smite that would work for Ross's character, please let me know, because like I can only think of like divine smite right off the top of my head. So let me know if you are like, hey, there's this move that exists in D&D, or I thought of this one myself. I would love to know any other cool attacks or like moves that we could give our paladin Ross. And yeah, so I'm getting pretty close to finishing up the piece. Like I said, I had a blast working on this. I've been really enjoying my Clip Studio Paint stuff and just learning how to render in this program. And I think it just looks so good. I'm still learning like certain special effects and how I want to handle them, but I still really like how this turned out. And I loved adding the cool magic glow to Ross and his sword. And then I was like, I gotta add it to Milo. How cool would it be to have like these cool, bright, lit up magical paws and tails? I kind of took that a little bit from his reference images that I picked for the coat. I was like, well, Milo has these cool magic tails going on in that. Let's just pull that over and put it into our design. And I really liked it. I had a blast making it, and I think this would be a really fun character to play. Like if there was a character sheet for RossDraws, I think this would be a really fun paladin to play. And let me know if you guys would want me to make character sheets for these artists as adventurers. It's been on my list of like ideas, but let me know in the comments if you would ever be interested in like a character pack, because I think these guys would be really fun to play in D&D.
All right, and we are all done with this Ross Artists as Adventurers piece, and I absolutely love how this turned out. I had a blast drawing him as this really cool paladin adventurer, and it was really fun adding some of these really cool glow effects, and I really like how this outfit turned out.
I was playing with a couple of different colors and I really liked how like that pink color turned out. And I was like, we're gonna add that. I think it just works really well with those blues and reds. And then it matches also like the lotus flower type of coloring. And I just think it looks great. I was really happy with how this turned out. And I've really been enjoying Clip Studio Paint and finding all of these other cool tools to use in the program. So I really am digging this. So yeah, I really love how this turned out. I think this turned out great. I had a blast designing him and his outfit and making him this really cool paladin. And if you guys have any other artists you'd like to see me draw in the Artist as Adventurer series, leave it down in the comments below. I know I got a bunch on previous videos to look through as well, but I'd love to know if there's any other artists you would like to see me draw for this mini series. And if you aren't already, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button, join our little community, and like hang out with other big nerds on this channel. I don't know if that drew you in, but it sure would get me. But either way, thank you guys again so much for stopping by, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.